News Wrap. I'm Siddharth Gulati and I'm going to bring you all the latest updates that made the headlines on different newspapers and on various digital platforms. So let's just begin with some cricket news here. Well, India are going to take on Bangladesh in the second and final test of the two-match series in Kanpur. Well, this is going to be India's chance to sweep the series 2-0 after they won the first test in Chepauk comfortably. For Bangladesh, on the other hand, this is going to be their only chance to draw level, and if they are really able to do that, then it's going to be a very historic occasion for Bangladesh, who are yet to defeat India in test matches. Well, overall, the head-to-head record, between the two teams, India are yet to be beaten by Bangladesh. They have won 12 of the 14 matches, while Bangladesh, on the other hand, have been able to manage just two draws. So yes, that's pretty much about it from the India versus Bangladesh test record. But then, in Kanpur, the problem is that there is going to be a rain threat for the first 3 days. So that is where I think India might just have to rethink about their team combination as to whether they really want to field with three spinners, or they would want to go with three seamers, keeping the overhead conditions in mind. Remember, there isn't any rain predicted on Monday and Tuesday, which is going to be the penultimate and the final days of the test match. But then once again, India would have to rethink about their team combination before they step out onto the field for the Kanpur test. So moving to some more cricket news here. Well, Sri Lanka are in top spot as far as their second test against New Zealand is concerned. They won the first test pretty comfortably. It was a thriller until the fourth day, but then Sri Lankan bowlers made sure that they left nothing to in the final day, and they made sure that they grabbed a win over New Zealand comfortably. So overall, on the opening day of the second test, Sri Lanka scored 300 odd at stumps, and Dinesh Chandimal, who is now their new number 3, he scored a brilliant century. He scored 116, and then Angelo Matthews is unbeaten on a 50, and so is the case with Kamindu Mendes, who has been given a promotion in the batting order. So Sri Lanka are in a good position in the second test, and they would look to make sure that they get past a total of 550 or 600, so as to put pressure on New Zealand, who are obviously trailing in the series 1-0. Moving to some more cricket news here. Well, England and Australia are going to face off in the fourth ODI of the 5-match series. Well, remember, Australia are 2-0 ahead in the series. They won the first two ODIs pretty comfortably, but then England, they made a comeback in the third ODI, and they managed to make sure that they stayed alive in the series. It was their stand-in captain, Harry Brook, who scored a century so as to make sure that England grabbed a win by 46 runs. It was a win by Duckworth-Lewis method due to the weather conditions there. But now the fourth ODI is going to take place in Lords today, and if Australia can manage to win this, well, then the fifth and final ODI in Bristol is going to be a dead rubber. And obviously, this ODI series is a good preparation for both the teams, keeping in mind the 2025 Champions Trophy, which is going to be held in Pakistan from February 3rd week until the March 9th. So that's about it from the Australia versus England ODI series. Moving to more cricket news. Well, South Africa are going to take on Ireland in a two-match T20I series starting today. Well, it's going to be a chance for South Africa to get back to winning ways after what really happened in the ODI series against Afghanistan. Well, remember, they lost the ODI series versus Afghanistan 2-1, and now they would really look to make the necessary amends and look to make sure that they head home after the T20Is, well, on a winning note. Well, yes, after the two T20Is, they're going to face Ireland in a three-match ODI series also. So yes, South Africa are having good preparation for the Champions Trophy, and they would also look to make sure that the youngsters that are a part of their team get enough chances so as to be accustomed to the subcontinent conditions, or the low and slow conditions, something they are more than likely to encounter in Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. Well, there's a comment from Mitrang Shukla that there has been no rain in Kanpur since morning. Well, yes, it's a good news for the cricket fans. They would really hope that the India versus Bangladesh game, for the at least for the first 2-3 days, it's not really rain curtailed. They would want to see proper action, and obviously that's what even we as media persons would also hope to expect. Well, moving to some IPL news here. Well, the IPL retentions obviously are going to be announced by the Indian Cricket Board BCCI very soon, but there's an update that's coming that there isn't any going to be an increase in the number of IPL games from 74, which has been the number in the last 3 years or so. But then, when the media rights were sold from IPL 2023 until the 2027 season, there was a list that, the number of games in the IPL is going to increase from 74 to 84, but that's not really going to happen reportedly, primarily because the BCCI is concerned about the Indian cricket team's workload. They want to make sure that the players are rested and ready for their third possible World Test Championship final, which is going to take place at Lord's next year from June 11th. So that's where BCCI wants to make sure that the IPL 2025, when it starts more than likely around mid of March, ends in the last week of May, so that the players have about 2 weeks of rest before they head to England for the all important World Test Championship final, which could very well be India's third consecutive appearance in the final of this major tournament. Well, moving to some, Formula One news here. Well, Daniel Ricciardo has been fired by Red Bull, and he will be replaced by Liam Dawson. Well, Daniel Ricciardo, who's obviously, one of the most popular and likable drivers on the Formula One grid, was released by Red Bull, and he obviously knew that, Singapore GP is going to be his last final F1 race. And that's, I think, the latest update as far as the Formula One news is concerned. And obviously in football, well, Robert Lewandowski, he continued his fine form and earned the La Liga leaders Barcelona a 1-0 win over Getafe on Wednesday. So that's about it as far as the morning wrap is concerned. Stay tuned to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world. And we are going to be live very shortly for the India versus Bangladesh second test. So stay tuned for the preview, because it's going to happen in a few minutes from now. Until then, it's goodbye.